When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Max Planck. Time is the measure of change. Change, the essence of time. Our conception of time originates in that of the experience of motion, which is the action or progress of moving or being moved. We objectively measure time based on the movement of the celestial bodies. The moon orbiting the earth, which is the curved part of one object in space as it revolves around another object due to gravitational forces. The earth and the moon together orbiting the sun. A year is defined as the time it takes for a planet to complete one full orbit around its star. In our case, the earth making one full orbit around the sun, which is approximately 365.25 days. And a day is the time it takes for the earth to rotate on its axis relative to the sun, which takes place every 24 hours with an inclination of 23.45 degrees from the plane of the earth's orbit around the sun. Time based upon the movement of the celestial bodies or the earth is measured by instruments based upon such movements, such as watches, clocks, sundials, etc. Time is then the perceived duration of successive movement of motion. So, how do we, as human beings, consciously perceive time, motion, subjectively? It is done by how we perceive the experience of our individual conscious being through the sense of sight. The motion of light is perceived through the sense of hearing. The motion of sound is perceived through the sense of smell. The motion of scent is perceived through the sense of taste. The motion of flavor is perceived, which is your tongue using its taste bud to detect the five basic tastes, which are sweet, salty, sour, bitter, and umami. These taste buds contain specialized cells that interact with chemical compounds in food, sending signals to the brain to interpret the taste. Through the sense of touch, the motion of contact is perceived. The body interprets touch through specialized sensory receptors in the skin that detect pressure, temperature, pain, and vibration. These receptors convert the physical stimulus into electrical signals that travel along nerve pathways to the brain, where the sensations are processed and interpreted. And then finally, we are also conscious of the passage of time by changes in our mental states, our thoughts, our mental images, our emotions, which are in essence impulses to act. The very root of the word emotion is motere, which is spelled Motere. The Latin verb to move, suggesting that a tendency to act is implicit in every emotion. Thoughts are the language of the brain. Feelings are the language of the body. Thought is, in essence, the active response of memory in every phase of life. We include in thought the intellectual, emotional, sensuous, muscular, and physical responses of memory. According to the book Wholeness and the Implicate Order by David Bohm, it says thought is a material process whose content is the total response of memory, including feelings, muscular reactions, and even physical sensations that merge with and flow out of the whole response. Indeed, all man-made features of our general environment are, in this sense, extensions of the process of thought, for their shapes, forms, and general orders of movement originate basically in thought and are incorporated within this environment in the activity of human work, which is guided by such thought. Vice versa, everything in the general environment has either naturally or through human activity a shape, form, and mode of movement, the context of which flows in through perception, giving rise to sense impressions which leave memory traces and thus contribute to the basis of further thought. There are things known and there are things unknown, and in between are the doors of perception. Aldous Huxley. In the book The Secret Doctrine of the Rosicrucians by Magos Incognito, it says a thing is whatever exists or is conceived to exist as a separate entity and as a separable or distinguishable object of thought. Everything must manifest form. Form is the shape or structure of anything as distinguished from the material of which it is composed. Hence, the configuration or figure of anything. Form is the mode of acting or manifestation of anything to the senses or to the intellect. Form is the assemblage of qualities constituting a conception or the internal constitution making an existing thing what it is. Strictly speaking, a thing must be capable of being thought of or pictured as composed of qualities, attributes, or properties distinguishing it from other things. Hence, everything must manifest form in order to be so distinguished and perceived by the senses or by the intellect as a thing. What then is time? Time is the succession of experience, the succession of thought, a pattern of events representing a single chronological sequence. How you order your life is then how you order your thoughts. How you manifest your beingness is in essence how you choose to react to the experience of thought. A belligerent samurai, an old Japanese tale goes, once challenged a Zen master to explain the concept of heaven and hell. But the monk replied with scorn, "You are nothing but a lout. I can't waste my time with the likes of you." His very honor attacked. The samurai flew into a rage and, pulling his sword from its scabbard, yelled, "I could kill you for your impertinence." That, the monk said, is hell. Startled at seeing the truth in what the master pointed out about the fury that had him in his grip, the samurai calmed down, sheathed his sword, and bowed, thanking the monk for the insight. And that, said the monk, is heaven. The sudden awakening of the samurai to his own agitated state illustrates the crucial difference between being caught up in a feeling and becoming aware that you are being swept away by it. Socrates' injunction, know thyself, speaks to this keystone of emotional intelligence, awareness of one's own feeling as they occur. Self-awareness, in short, means being aware of both our mood and our thoughts about that mood, bringing knowledge or awareness to the realm of our feelings, thoughts, emotions has an effect, something like the impact of an observer at the quantum level in physics, altering what is being observed. It is the mark of an educated mind to entertain a thought without accepting it. Aristotle. To exhume yourself from the pit of chaos and give to yourself the seed of metamorphosis, aligning towards the current of greater renewed meaning and thereby tranquility. Ah, what it means to be, what it is to act or not to act upon. A man sees in the world what he carries in his heart. Go there. Time is of your own making. Its clock ticks in your head. The moment you stop thought, time too stops dead. Angelus Silesius. In quantum physics, energy always goes hand in hand with time. In a sense, the amount of energy determines the rate at which time passes. The beat of the quantum clock, if you like. So why waste energy engaging with thought forms that are not in alignment with the reality you choose to observe? The reality in thought form you choose to collapse into the space-time continuum and thereby bring into form. A meal tastes different when eaten with gratitude. A walk feels different when taken with intention. A conversation deepens when truly heard. The magic isn't in what you do, it's in how you do it. Vex King. The work of the mature person is to carry grief in one hand and gratitude in the other, and to be stretched large by them. Francis Wheeler. Love is a state of being. Your love is not outside. It is deep within you. You can never lose it, and it can not leave you. It is not dependent on some other body, some external form. Eckhart Tolle. So who are you? Who do you choose to be? How do you exude your beingness? And are you subject to things external to you? Or are you subject to your own internal creativity and how you choose to respond to what you become?